So if I'm not wrong, 2 weeks back on Instagram, we had an Ask Me Anything Q&A session, and the questions that we got were amazing, chef's kiss. And I thought, why not we have a video about it, and hopefully it's going to benefit many more people. So in this video, I'm going to be answering the Q&A questions that I got, which were amazing. The questions range from what can I do with a particular degree if I'm looking for a remote job and no experience, where can I start, where should I start, what are some of the skills that are sought after, and yeah, so many other things. So yeah, let's answer those questions while we are on this road trip. Let's move on to our next question, which states, are there remote opportunities for mental health workers, especially with someone who has some background in admin? The answer to that is an astounding yes. There are opportunities for mental health workers. Actually, come to think of it, we did an entire video just showcasing companies in the medical field. So you want to watch this video as well. We've got companies like Clipboard Health. We've got companies like Hims and Hers, a company called Spring Health as well, that, constantly hiring professionals in the medical field. That includes mental health workers, therapists, doctors, nurses. The only thing that you need to be aware of is most of these companies will want you to be accredited in the US. So just have that in mind, but not all the roles are going to need a US accreditation. So yeah, it just means that the pool is a little bit smaller, but it's not entirely impossible. So have a look at that, and then don't also sleep on our website, because that is where we post all of our opportunities that we do come across. Moving on, are there companies which are able to help you grow with little skill to match skill? So I guess you're asking about professional development and growth, right? One thing that I find with remote companies is that because they are startups, and with the nature of any startup is that it's an ever-changing environment and change is the only constant, they do take career growth, professional growth really, really hard. They do take it seriously. So even if they don't have a learning budget for you, when you ask for time off, like a sabbatical, they will give you one. So I don't think you're going to find yourself in an environment where you have to overly explain reasons as to why, you need to do a short course, or reasons as to why you need to take some time off for an exam. That's not going to be the case. When it comes to training in particular, again, most of these companies are going to be startups. So there is a lot of saving back, because again, either they're running on founders' money, or they've gotten like VC funding or YC funding. So you have to have that in mind. Chances are you're going to find yourself in an environment where you are required to do a lot of research, at the same time deliver your jobs. So that comes with a lot of internal training. So when it comes to skills development, I think, yeah, you're going to love working for a remote company. The next question that we have is, what courses can be taken in order for you to be a VA or customer service professional and add it to your CV? When you're looking for a customer service role, there are things that you need to have on your CV. For example, the remote tools and softwares that are used by customer service professionals. So let's say things like Zendesk or tools like Zendesk. You want to add HubSpot, you want to add Asana, which is a project management tool, etc. So on and so forth. When it comes to courses, I would like to see a course on data analytics, because how else are you going to do customer feedback analysis? Then I also want to see a course on AI essentials. I also want to see a course on customer experience or customer relationship management. Those are some of the courses that I would expect to see in a customer service CV as a recruiter. When it comes to VA, I want to see things on the line of email marketing. I want to see calendar management. I want to see logistics. I want to see C-suite management, right? Yeah. So things of the sort, like stakeholder management as well. So those are some of the things that I would be looking at in terms of technical skills. Let's move on to our next question. Hello, once you customize or once you custom make my ATS CV, do you assist in job search? Also, what is the cost for that? So, as of the time you're making this video, we do not assist in job search directly. However, we do assist indirectly. By that, I mean that you're constantly showcasing jobs on our website, and that is how we do that. And we do not charge for that at the moment. So if you're hoping that I would handhold you until you get a job, at this time, in this moment, I'm not able to do that due to capacity reasons. However, I always tell my clients that whenever you've got a question, whenever you feel stuck, do not hesitate to contact me. When I do have capacity, I will reach out or I will answer. But yeah, I'm not able to handhold you until you land a job. But that being said, you should not sleep on our website because that is where we post all the opportunities that are hiring in Africa and they're hiring Africans. Our next question goes, I have little skill and I have been out of work. How would you package this to get a remote work? I think I want to know more about your little skill. And what have you been doing? So for the period that you have been out of work, what exactly have you been doing? I find that business people tend to undersell their skills, yet they do have a number of skills that can be transferable from one department to the other. So I want to take this further. Let me know, what do you term as little, right? Another question is, did you already have your home office set up? The honest answer is that I actually set it up as I was on the go, right? So the first thing that I had to have was, of course, my desk. And then the other thing that I had to have was a laptop. And that was about it. Every other thing, and a chair as well. So yeah, those go hand in hand. What I did was that I converted one of the bedrooms to be my office because it is a quiet space with no disturbance. Yeah, so ideally what you need are three things. Let's talk about that in terms of equipment, what you need, right? We've talked about the remote tools that you will need, which is your CV, LinkedIn profile, as well as the introductory video. When it comes to equipment, this is what you need. Wi-Fi, right? Strong Wi-Fi, stable Wi-Fi. That doesn't mean that you now go ahead and purchase the 40 or 60, is it Mbps? I'm not sure. Yeah, I think Mbps. No, that is too much. I actually work with the Safaricom package that goes for 3,000 bob, which is 8 Mbps or 10 Mbps. I really don't know, but it works, right? So find yourself a stable Wi-Fi. Then you're also going to need a laptop. Now, for some companies, they will be very specific in terms of the laptop specs that they need. Most companies will not really care as long as it is working and you're able to deliver your deliverables. I've seen companies like Invisible Technologies that will need certain laptop specs, and Clipboard Health that will also need, for some roles, not all roles, that will also need a particular laptop specs, particularly for the customer service roles, as well as the internet, which they usually go for 20 Mbps. So just have that in mind. What I'm trying to say is that do not fret about it. As long as you have a working laptop or even a desktop, you also have Wi-Fi and you've got a quiet space to put in 6 to 8 hours of your time, you're good to go. Yeah. But don't just expect to be working on your phone. You do need a laptop because it is a full-time job. Now, let's move on to our next question. How long were you in the remote workspace before quitting to work for yourself? Now, I'm still in the remote workspace, if I'm very honest, because our company, Beyond the Savannah, is a fully remote company. We actually are a team of 5 people, all working remotely. So ideally, I'm still in that space. But if you mean that, how long did I work for Superside? That was a little bit over 2 years. Yeah, so a little bit over 2 years. And that was enough for me to say, you're good. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, so that's that. The other question is, so why do I get so many rejections with no interview invite, yet my CV is ATS friendly? What could be missing? Now, there is a lot that goes into whether you're going to get shortlisted or not, to be very honest with you. One is the quality of applicants that they're getting with the job advert. Two is whether you're a good fit for the role, and that is something that you have no control over. And three, the percentage match that you have to the role, again, something that you actually have no control over. However, the third one, you can actually increase your percentage match by identifying the keywords that are on the job advert and then tweaking your CV to include those keywords, hence increasing the percentage as well as increasing your chances of getting shortlisted. My take on that is that as long as you have an ATS friendly CV, you're sending out your CV strategically and not just sending out applications to each and every role that is out there. That means, so that means if you've identified a particular department, a particular function, a particular role, then that is where you're sending in your applications. You have to do what is within your control, and whatever that is not within your control, then you surrender it, because there's just so much you can do. Otherwise, you can get into not particularly depression, but it can be energy draining for you in particular. And looking for a job is not easy. You do not want to give up when you are just an application away from getting that yes and getting that interview invite. Yeah, so keep at it. Bear in mind that we are in September and there is September hiring surge at the moment. What that essentially means is that during July and August, where most of the companies were on summer break, because most of these companies are in the US, Canada, and Europe. So yeah, it is summer break. They're taking the time off to go and just have a nice holiday. So they're not really hiring at that time. Now is when most of those roles are being reopened. And because it is the last quarter of the year, they want to close the roles before they actually start the process of budget approvals and whatnot, right? So you're going to find more and more people getting or like closing deals and closing offers during this period. Case in point, I actually got my job during this period as well. So don't give up just yet. Rather than taking it slow, I would say now is the time to ramp up your application process and just keep on sending in applications, right? Yeah. And let's see. Do you have another? I don't think so.